Welcome to the iGen Entrepreneurs Mastermind number 67. Wow, 67. So yeah, all very welcome on this Thursday evening. So yeah, I've prepared quite a bit for this. I've got a few things to share and I'm kind of excited to share them with you. So I'm just going to pop, I'm on my own tonight. So I'm just going to pop, there we go, we are live. Awesome. So yeah, guys, if you can see and hear me, great. If you could let me know where you're watching from. And yeah, we're gonna have a pretty interactive live this evening. So yeah, I'll be asking a few questions and yeah, hopefully a few people I can imagine will get a lot of value, I hope. If not, that's cool too. Yeah, potentially have a bit of a mini breakthrough in terms of why you may be procrastinating things, why you might have set goals in the past previously, taken little or no action to hit them. I'll be running through a little kind of mini system or a mini concept called the 4 C's and how you can use them in your Amazon business and also personal life, just getting things done in general. Super useful. And yeah, just excited to share this with you guys. Decided to run it in the evening. There's a few people who, yeah, I've had quite a few messages. People, love to be on the lives and just cool. So yeah, we've got a first comment. Love it. So yeah, let me know where you're watching from, what you want to cover, and yeah, if you've ever kind of set goals. I think January 1st is a great example. Your New Year's resolutions, goals for your business. Yeah, I've done it before where you set goals and ultimately don't get anywhere near them, procrastinate, don't take any action, and just kind of not make excuses, but we'll be uncovering a little bit of psychology and why you kind of need to take action before you have confidence and commit to things. We'll also be talking through a project that we're going to be running over probably the next year for people who really want to make 2023 a year to remember. I was thinking about this previously. I used to be a carpenter, a kitchen fitter, and 2007 I had an operation on my knee, so I was off work, and yeah, I was basically brought back in the middle of it. Yeah, I basically recovered from that just in time for the credit crunch to kind of kick in. There was no work, so ultimately, like a job I was quite good at, had a kind of promising career, I basically quit and really just took a lot of action to get into kind of business development, different sides of things. So, which has ultimately led me here. So yeah, I was thinking about that earlier, and it's just, yeah, it's just interesting because there will be some parallels with that for a lot of people next year who might potentially be in a position where their job is under threat from recession or whatever it is, and there are a lot of people who are wanting to create something on the side or to replace what they're currently doing in terms of work. So yeah, hopefully you guys will get some value, and it'd be great to kind of share stories of times that you've had a breakthrough and when you've done things without confidence and things. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's everyone. Oh yeah, there's a few people who were after a reminder. So yeah, I'm just going to share that. So yeah, let me know who's watching, where you're based, and yeah, what brings you onto this live this evening. Be good to hear from everyone who is watching. We've got quite a few people watching now, which is great. And I'll look into things in a moment. Just find that post. And yeah, just in general, guys, how are things going with your Amazon business. It's really, oops. Yeah, cool. So post that in there. Aswad wanted a reminder, so there you go, Aswad. And yeah, hope you guys are all keeping well. Oh, cool. So we've got someone from, I believe that's Mexico. Good evening. Well, good afternoon. Mexico. Evening. Hello, everyone. Cool. So yeah, I hope you're all keeping well. Got someone based in Peterborough running a seller FBA business. Love it. Hope things are going well for you. So yeah, in terms of what we're going to run through tonight, I have prepared some slides, and it's not going to be, oops, just the wrong thing there. It's not going to be death by PowerPoint or anything like that, I hope. It might feel like that, but hopefully it doesn't. If I would ever be able to just figure out how to do that. Cool, if I drag that down there. Awesome. So yeah, I'll share this now. Present to view. Cool. Finally figured out how to do that. Awesome. So yeah, in terms of what we're going to cover tonight, guys, it's going to be super interactive as I've said. Just share this window. Cool. So yeah, we've got quite a few people watching. So guys, I'll run through a few bits and pieces here in terms of what we're going to cover. Basically called the live, how to set goals and actually commit to hitting them. As I've said, I've previously set loads of goals. Yeah, lots of work and actually writing down goals and taking very little action to them. Not recently, but I know it's the most common thing in the world to actually go, okay, this is the new feature, this is the new idea that I have, and then ultimately really struggle to actually get anywhere close to taking action. So this is what we're going to cover. So we're going to cover the 4 C's. It's a really simple framework to hit goals and build confidence. And it's super useful to actually kill procrastination that you have and just build confidence to actually move forward, take action, so on. Set goals, clarify goals, what SMART goals are. May have heard of SMART goals, maybe not. I'll also quickly share our money mapping and revenue projection tools. So I've ran through these previously, it'll be really popular. Might have a few new people, on this evening. So if you want access to these, then please reach out to us. And then what's going to be really exciting, to just cover quickly what it looks like. We're going to be running a project over the next minimum 12 months, how it's going to run, the type of people that we're looking for to join us, and how we're actually going to help people lower the amount of courage needed to move through and actually achieve the goals that they set. So yeah, we're covering all of this. So in terms of the 4 C's, the 4 C's is like just to kind of start covering this. I'll just stop sharing the screen actually because yeah, cool. So in terms of the 4 C's, basically, how can I put this? So one of the most important things for any entrepreneur or any person who runs a business is to be imagining something bigger and better than what you've experienced in the past, because ultimately, if that's not why you're here, then you'd be happy just watching whatever's on TV tonight. There's plenty to watch on TV, and if you're happy with kind of how things are, you're not dreaming of that kind of bigger future, then that's another thing. And fair play to people who are happy. There's a lot to be said about that. What tends to happen when I speak to people who actually do want to improve things, or people that reach out to us and want to improve things, is that people get an idea like, okay, I want to quit my job, or I want to simply have £1,000 a month extra for holidays, bills, so on and so forth, is that you have an idea, but you really kind of struggle to take any action. So nearly everyone I speak to would like to have like bigger and better future than what you're currently experiencing. So when we kind of get to talking about it properly, the question comes up, so when are you actually going to take action? When are you going to take action to do this, to do the thing, to start your Amazon business, to go through VAT registration, to start wholesale? People nearly all the responses are, I'll start this, I'll take action when I feel confident. So yeah, there's a real joy of like kind of wisdom of paradox, if you will, here, because by saying I'll take action when I have confidence, really confidence is the actual payoff when you have that breakthrough. When you actually take action, confidence comes after. So there is a real paradox here. So, well, how do I commit to doing something? How do I actually do something when I don't have confidence? So I remember someone I spoke to about this, and it was just like this. So it's like, okay, well, okay, I'm happy to do it without knowing how to do it, but first of all, I need the actual capability to do it. So what I really mean is that I'll take action, get started when I actually have the capability and skills, whatever it is to actually, do it. So yeah, so people generally say, oh, I'm not confident in how to do things, so I'll get started when I actually have a bit of confidence about this. But that confidence doesn't come until you have like the breakthrough, and then people will say, well, I'll do it, but I'll do it whenever I actually know what I'm doing. So there is a real paradox. So it'd be interesting to see, we've got a few people watching, like, have you ever been in the position when you've been asked to commit to something or been asked to do something before you know how to do it? Or, even you might know how to do it, but you're not confident in how to do it. So something like public speaking, something like presenting, anything like that. So yeah, it'd be interesting just to like check chat. Yeah, guys, if you've ever felt like that, if you've ever been asked to do something before you know how to do it, then it'd be great to hear from you. So yeah, really, you have to make a commitment that you're actually going to do something before you can actually get confident in how to do it and also have the capability to then do it, if that makes sense. So, obviously, if I was to ask anyone to do something they didn't know how to do, or definitely weren't confident in being able to do it, your natural response is going to be, oh, that's terrifying, I can't possibly do that, it's really scary. So really, the first thing in terms of how to actually set goals and start the process of actually achieving them is to actually commit to them. So the first step that you need to make is called commitment. So that's why I'll kind of circle back around in a moment. But the reason why we're calling this Project Commit is because all that we want in terms of the people who are interested in joining it are people who are able to make that commitment for whatever it is that you want. So it might be to simply start your Amazon business. It might be to go from 5K a month to 10K a month. It might be to go from, say, $250,000 a year to $500,000 to 7 figures. We're looking for everyone in that position where you're currently quite comfortable or whatever, but you do want to actually make a commitment. So the first C, talk about the 4 C's. First thing that you need to be able to do is to make a commitment. So just to kind of circle back to get to the point where if I've asked you to commit to something or you want to commit to do something, but don't actually know how to do it or even then have the confidence to do it. The second C that you have to go through is courage. So I'll just share Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, pretty sure I know what that is. So Jared, hope you're doing well. So I took on football coaching senior men with no real knowledge, or some personal coaching from Liam O'Neill and YouTube videos. Right, okay. So that's great. So that's a great example. So really, how did you actually feel when you took your first training session? How did you feel after it? It's probably definitely worth asking. So yeah, Gerard, like what did that feel like to actually say, okay, I'm going to be senior men's football coach, never done it before, don't really know what I'm doing, definitely don't have the confidence. How did that actually feel? Because I would say that if that's the position that you were in, you would have had to have went through a period of courage. So I'm just going to share my screen. So yeah, just a moment to actually what this looks like. So in terms of first step to actually get to the point where you're confident on how to do something, you have to make that commitment. And then you basically have to be able to spend some time going through that commitment in a period of courage. So, just to kind of clarify, the the difference between courage and confidence is that confidence feels really good. If you're confident about something, you're able to do it. It's kind of comes naturally, whatever. But with courage isn't really a word that people use very often because it's not appealing. It's not nice to do things and to act with courage. Uh, a really good a quote that I absolutely love is the difference between courage and fear is that fear is wetting your pants and courage is having wet pants while you do the thing that you're scared of. So I love that. The difference between courage and fear is having wet pants, and courage is doing things with wet pants. So basically, you know, if you consider like courage, the reason it feels awful and the reason it feels so bad is because you don't have capability just yet, and you certainly don't have confidence. So when you make your commitments and you have that courage and actually act with courage, the reason that it feels so bad is because you don't have any proof of concept, you don't have any confidence, you don't have any certainty that your time spent in here is actually going to pay off. You're not certain of your result. If you were, you'd have confidence. So that's why it feels so bad, and that's why it's so uncomfortable to actually do that. So I think sorry, not Liam, Gerard's example is great. So if you consider your past, if you can think about a time that you actually achieved something, like a result, accomplishment, achievement, or whatever, tell me what else everyone's committed to. You know, if you think about when you made that commitment, didn't really know what you were doing, didn't certainly have the confidence, how long did you actually have to spend with courage to actually get to the point where you were confident and actually get to the point where you were actually hitting kind of your result, hitting your desired outcome? Because it's really interesting because it's the combination of making a commitment and going through a period of courage that actually creates that capability and confidence. It doesn't come before. So when people say, I'll do it when I'm ready, I'll do it when I'm confident, or I'll do it when I actually know how to do it, it doesn't work like that. There's no other way to actually create confidence and capability without that commitment, first of all, and then that period of courage. So if that's landing for anyone, that would be, that's great. So, oh wow, okay, I've got a few comments. So I decided to go learn dancing, and then one class in there was a group performance. So I threw myself in and performed. I think I know who that is. So yeah, Crystal, that's awesome. And yeah, I'm sure you felt that you were like moving into, yeah, you didn't have the capability, certainly didn't have the confidence, but you acted with courage. And ultimately, that's massive. That's how you get from making that commitment, wanting to do something, to actually doing it and actually being confident with that. So yeah, it's awesome. Scary. So I think this is Jared. So scary at first, it sparked a real drive to learn fast and stay ahead of my fear. I decided to give it all, I decided to give it all early on though. Quite an adrenaline buzz at the end of the first session, and it just kept better, just kept getting better and better as I got, and it just kept getting better as I got better. Yeah, this is it. If we look at this simple little framework, it's you made that commitment, you're going to do that session. You do it with courage, and as you continue to do it, you're building your capability, building your confidence. So the next time that you come here, you can make a commitment to, like, I don't know, maybe the first time you took with someone else, you maybe had a partner. Next time you're doing it on your own. So again, it's like another period of courage, build your capability, build your confidence. And the real key to successful entrepreneurs is consistently doing this, consistently going out of your comfort zone and making commitments, going through courage, capability, and confidence. Makes sense. So yeah, OMG, such a paradox. It is because, yeah, absolutely, you won't have confidence until you do the thing that you're scared to do and don't know how to do. So how do you get to the point where you're making commitments, working through the courage, building your capabilities, and then building your confidence to make bigger commitments and so on and so forth. And as you snowball that, it's massive. Cool. Yeah, so real paradox. So yeah, if that's landing for anyone else, yeah, whenever I discovered this little framework, I didn't come up with this at all, by the way. This is not my concept, but it really landed for me because I remember loads of times going for job interviews, doing some public speaking and things like that. And it's like, okay, I've said I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And yeah, I'm doing it, even though I don't feel great about doing it. I don't feel confident. And then your capability just moves. Cool. So yeah, in terms of what everyone is kind of thinking about, and I get that it's the middle of Q4, people will be thinking about Christmas, people are already thinking about New Year that I've spoke to. So really the kind of question to ask is that, are you designing a future for yourself where courage isn't needed anymore because it won't work? Ultimately, for you to get that new desired outcome, is you're going to have to take a big jump, and you're going to have to go through a process of committing, courage, building your capability, and yeah, building that confidence. Ultimately, your willingness to go through those periods of courage is going to be key to your actual success. So in terms of what we're doing, the reason I call this project Commit is Commit project, beg your pardon, is because what we want to do is to really lower the amount of courage needed to build your capability, get you confident, and to recommit to bigger goals, so on and so forth. We can't remove the courage that you're going to need because ultimately we can't do everything for you. We won't do everything for you. It's not the best way to actually serve you. The best way that you can serve yourself is to make a commitment for what you want in the future, to then move forward with courage, build your capability, and continue to do that. So guys, if that all makes sense, then that's awesome. Any thoughts on here? Let's see. Jared Ross, a great compo. So I've been training for almost 10 years, done it part-time, and even though I was capable of replacing my full-time income, decided to take a leap and quit my job 3 years ago and go for it full-time. Worked out great. Love it. Absolutely love it. So it's like, yeah, I mean, for those 7 years, you were doing it part-time, made that commitment, and worked out great. And like, it'd be great if you could share what your thoughts were when you were like, when you handed that notice in. I remember handing my notice in. It was, yeah, it was very interesting. It was very interesting. Probably I did leave it too late, but ultimately, yeah, it was definitely took a lot of courage to do that. And anyone that's ever achieved anything, big or small, has always done it through a period of courage. So, you know, anyone that's actually quit their job, replaced it with Amazon, massive inspiration. It's just insane. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's just unfortunate that I can't see who is commenting. I'll just check who that is. Evening. It's in a different. Yeah. So yeah, I love that. So yeah, congratulations. I'm glad it's working out for you, and be interesting to know what you're going to commit to going forward. Be interested to see that. So yeah, in terms of what we're going to cover next, in terms of setting goals, I'll probably cover something that goes in a way, or at least everyone has actually heard of. Just pull up here a second. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna do something very quickly. Apologies. So present review. Yeah, it's just hard to do that when it's okay. Cool. So yeah, let's go back. So yeah, guys, if that's hitting a nerve with anyone else, I mean, if anyone can either think of a time when you had to act with courage because you were asked to do something. I mean, even something like asking your partner out for a drink, you know, the first time, that takes courage, and ultimately you might not have the capability or certainly the confidence to do it. But it's all relative. Cool. So jump on to SMART goals. So spend a little bit of time on this. I'm sure you guys have all kind of covered this. If not, there might be things in here that, amen, dating takes the most courage. Yeah, it does sometimes actually. So cool. So I mean, what I would say here, I mean, I'll discuss a little bit on like financial goals. Biggest thing here for me is that, yeah, making money isn't everything. It certainly won't make you happy. I mean, if I were to offer someone $1 billion to go and live on the moon in a bubble on their own with nothing to do and no one to spend any time with, you probably wouldn't take me up on that offer. So I would say that most people are in a position where, I mean, fundamentally, you don't necessarily need very much. That might be controversial. You know, we're all generally everyone watching this will be kind of based in a developed country. There's very little that we actually need. Not to go into Maslow's hierarchy, anything like that, but ultimately we're talking about things that we want to do. So to be specific on what it is that you actually want to do, I mean, over the next 12 months, 6 months, 12 months, what is it that ideally you would want to do with the Amazon business? So I've had someone there full time for the past 3 years, similar kind of time frame, excuse me. a similar kind of time frame to myself. Yeah, that's something I wanted to do then. I want to do other things now. So, I mean, for you, you know, what is it you actually want to do, or what is it that you want, say, your Amazon business to allow you to do? Is it to quit your job? Is it to, not a lot of people kind of skip over this. I mean, if you just wanted your Amazon business to put you in a position where you just went part-time in your work, so you didn't work a Friday, so every weekend you had a long weekend, or you didn't work a Monday and a Friday, so you did 3 days work, you did your Amazon business on a Monday, on a Friday, and you had the rest of the time to yourself. That's massive, because most people generally are happy with their jobs to an extent. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, what is it you actually want to do? Is it extra pocket money? Is it a nice holiday next year? Would you love to be in a position where you're working part-time in your current job and then have this to supplement that? That's massive. So what I would encourage anyone to do when you're thinking of things is to be really specific. What is it that you want? Is it more time, more money? I mean, you know, would you, do you want to move to Australia and play cricket all day long? You know, Luke's been very open that his Amazon business has allowed him to do that. So Luke now is based in Australia. He's playing cricket full time, and he's set himself a goal, something he really wants to do, and it's become a professional cricketer. He play cricket for England, I think 2025 is the goal that he set himself. So yeah, I mean, location independence is this person's goal. So yeah, I mean, that's not the goal for everyone. It's a massive goal. I mean, if people have families and things, it's still possible. People love where they live, but location independence is massive as well. I'm booking a trip to the Philippines to see my team in February this month. I don't need to ask for any time off. I don't need to check. I don't need to get anyone to cover my rota or anything like that. So, and my business will pay for the trip through points and things like that. So what I encourage anyone to do when setting goals is to be specific. So yeah, in terms of, I'll kind of skip a couple of things. So in terms of measurable, going through specific, measurable, money is very easy to measure. It's very easy indeed to actually measure. So, oops, I have schoolboy error. So, I mean, one of the tools that we use monthly, this is just an example that I ran through a couple of weeks ago for live then. This is a really useful tool to actually figure out the measure of your goal. So, that's an example. If you're really specific about, about the life that you want to lead and work out how much money that's going to cost you. Some people want, want a cleaner to come twice a week, build that into here. So let's say, for example, we're using someone who is wanting to generate 3K a month. This little tool will allow you to use your salary. So I put in just 2K for, say, an average UK salary. I'm not sure if that's correct, but this little tool will work out what your gap to goal is. So that's an example, you're getting 2K a month from your job and you want to be earning 3K a month. That's £1,000 a month gap. So it breaks it down for you per week. So let's say, for example, that would only really need you if you were just looking at Amazon. If you're looking at Amazon, that would leave an extra £230 a week, or per day, £7.50 for argument's sake per day. So let's say, for example, your Amazon business we'll not use 1,000. Yeah, we'll use £1,000. So your £1,000 per Amazon business, you got at this stage fairly quickly that it generated £1,000 per month. So that takes out that gap to go. Let's say you did a little bit on eBay. So eBay's there is 550. Yeah. So then you're thinking, okay, well, I'm here now, so I'm actually hitting that gap to goal after 6 months. So what can I actually get to? So really, if you want access to this, super useful. The other tool that we use is a revenue forecasting. So I'll share this as well. Have I not? I haven't created a link for that. Whoops, don't think so. Okay, so just bear with. Yeah, I mean, this is basically a tool. You can see what it covers here. So basically, we'll be able to work out what you'd need to, say, hit that £1,000 a month, or if you wanted more, say 1,500 a month, we can work out actual capital you need to do that, say within 6 months or 12 months. Or let's say, for example, you had 2K to start and you wanted to see where you could get that 2K, say in a year's time. And once you've commitment, you've actually got some capability and confidence from this process. We can help you with funding, we can help you with the confidence to actually add more money into your Amazon machine. So yeah, we cover all this as well. If you want access to this, I'm inviting people for calls. Yeah, again, cool. So just check in. So someone's goal is to work part-time with a camper van travel around the country. Oh, sorry, work part-time and then with a camper van travel around the country at weekends. Love it. Absolutely love it. I've committed to going camping for the first time in forever this month. I know it's November and it's Ireland, but I'm gonna fucking do it. Don't care. Yeah, it's been too long. So yeah, that's very appealing. Love that. So you've got, location freedom, location independence, and you've also, you'll be able to achieve that very quickly. Ultimately, if you've got your camper van, great. I mean, yeah, just need to get started with that. Who else? Being able to have more time to do performance arts and to visit and spoil my sister and mom in China. Love it, Crystal. Absolutely love it. So those are your goals. So yeah, I mean, really, if you're super specific about this, you're much more likely to actually achieve those goals. So move on to kind of the juicy bits, and then we will open up for Q&A. So guys, if this is useful or I'm going too quick, let me know. I can slow down, answer any questions. Yeah, and kind of skipped over attainable and realistic in terms of SMART goals. So with the goals that we have, they are strategy goals, and ultimately, if we think you're a good fit, we'll recommend them to you. We did have a call earlier on this week where we basically said that what you want to achieve with what you've got available isn't achievable, and he really appreciated that. He wanted to do crazy figures with very little capital and within a certain time frame. So it depends on what time frame you want to do things in. So you have to be realistic and just say, okay, the time that you've got, the resources that you've got, it's just not achievable. So yeah, we're still working with that person, and yeah, going to take some advice, and I will follow up with them in a couple of months' time. But ultimately, the key thing here is that a lot of people overestimate what you can actually do in a year and underestimate what you can do in 10. So with that being said, it's super important that you set yourself a time frame to achieve these goals, because yeah, without that time frame, you'll never do it. So it's like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, when do you want to do it by? Oh, I don't know. Whenever is easiest. It doesn't work like that. So in I thought this was interesting. So these are so I just looked at sales figures for last year, yesterday, if that makes sense. So yeah, last year, so yesterday, that time last year, we did 1,400 quid at £177 worth of profit. And then yesterday, we did slightly more in sales and yeah, just over £250 of profit. Now, I'm spending actually less time on my Amazon business now than I was last year. I'm simply leveraging the systems that I put in place at the start, spent time with staff, got them trained up. Yeah, we're actually doing, and we've kind of recalibrated. So you can see here, yeah, in terms of units, we're kind of selling much higher ticket items, so much more expensive items. So we're moving away from cheaper items. Yeah, slight increase in ROI and things like that. And yeah, I get it. One day in a snapshot, but it's pretty typical for last year. We were doing about 6-7K a month. And yeah, this year we're kind of 8 to 9K a month profit. So yeah, super happy with that. And it's allowing me to do things like this. But genuinely, I'm doing these things. I mean, Crystal, who's in the chat, she's such a massive success story for us. Nicest person you'll ever meet, and absolutely killing it. She's been with us for 6 or 7 months, and yeah, like doing all this, and it's great. But ultimately, if you can help other people to do that, it's super fulfilling and super rewarding. So yeah, I mean, by no means am I the biggest seller in the world. We're very transparent here. Eamon is absolutely killing it. He's putting a lot more time into his Amazon business. He'll do, I think, 1.3, 1.4 million this year. But yeah, so basically, over the next year, I want to commit to bring as many people along with me as I possibly can. So we are going to commit to a commit project. So what is it? Basically, it's a community of sellers who have committed to personal SMART goal via a strategy call, have agreement with that, and what we're actually going to do each month. So our clients have access to weekly coaching with Eamon. What I'm going to commit to doing is every month, probably the first Monday of every month, a monthly accountability and reporting pulse. So it's going to be a monthly meeting where people can jump in, discuss the goals that they've set, where they are in them, and have that pulse every single month. So we'll review them. I'll hold people accountable. It'd be like, okay, so you committed these 3 things last month. Did you get them done? No, why not? So on and so forth. So yeah, that's who we're looking for. We're looking for people who want to commit. That's it. People who are happy to, or are realizing that this isn't get rich quick. It's by no means get rich quick. You do need to put the time in, and that people do have time to implement systems and processes, and are just committed to periods of courage to get what you want. And the big thing that we want as well, Crystal's massive with this, super active within our group, just someone that's happy to actually collaborate and then share their success within the group. So if that's the sort of person you are, I'll share a link to start that process with us. In terms of what we're going to commit to, as well as all the, I mean, I'm not going to go into the support program too much because that's what the calls. There's loads of stuff, deals every week. You'll check your deals when you're starting off. As well as that, every week you'll have live coaching with Eamon. We'll also commit to a once a month accountability and progress report meeting. So I'm going to say the first Monday of every month. That's going to start December, whatever the first Monday in December is. And we're going to provide a clear roadmap to each individual person. So this would be someone who isn't hasn't started their business. We'll get you to 5K a month within whatever time frame you want to set, either 6 months to a year. We'll get you, if you're already selling on Amazon with online arbitrage, we'll get you to an extra 10K a month. We'll commit to doing that. And if you are doing that and you want to do wholesale, we'll commit to generate you at least an extra 20K a month, at least via wholesale. If you're slightly higher, I'm speaking to someone about this at the moment. So say, for example, if you want to go from 500K to a 7-figure seller, we'll commit to that and we'll actually guarantee that for you. That will be done on a call. So we need to agree on a timescale. It depends on the person as well. We did disqualify someone from this week. And it's also down to criteria as well. So, if you, criteria in terms of your resources, in terms of your time, so on and so forth, that's all discussed in the call. We're not going to do that here. So, we've had lots of success